You.
You too. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I was muted, believe it or not. Y'all can hear me now. Oh man, I tell you what, these look. I'm so glad it's the summertime. I can figure this stuff out. Anyway, when I tell you I got a great show for you today, man. When I tell you this show is, I'm telling you, Craig Hay, Lisa DeLorenzo, I'm telling you, like, this is about to be it. Y'all about to see the software I've been working with. Y'all about to see the software I've been working with, man. This is really exciting for me. I got my boy Walter of Detroit Avenue, Lions Avenue. He's gonna be in the building, but we're gonna be talking Terrion Arnold today. Okay. I love Terrion Arnold. So again, my thoughts and opinions, whatever. This is the way Terrion Arnold performed in the last 2 years. I like Terrion Arnold. Let's just say that. I think Terrion Arnold is a higher floor player, and we're gonna get into that in a minute. Matter of fact, we're gonna get into just the eye test before we get into real tests. Hold on, I got my guy here, and there we go. We got him.
Boy, I'm over here sweating, and exactly what happened is what I told you was gonna happen. And I knew it about 2 hours ago it was gonna happen.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. The fam ain't no stronger core than the family. I want to get your initial thoughts on Terrion Arnold before we get into this film and show these people what we've been working on.
All right, excuse me a little bit. Just got done running up some stairs back and forth.
Introduce your channel and everything. Do the whole thing.
So first off, me personally, I want to thank you for having me on the show, man. Name's Walter Stringer. I am a draft analyst for the East West Football Network. Have been for about 4 years now. Also, I'm the co-host of the Lions Avenue podcast page, also on YouTube as well as LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay. Hey, look. I want to get into meat and potatoes, man. What's your core thoughts on Terrion Arnold before I get into the software?
I think he's a really good football player.
Yeah.
He is. I think he has some physical limitations, not many. One for sure is the top end speed. A lot of people have discussed. I've discussed myself. But hey, what up, Craig? Overall, I think he's a really good football player. I think he can play in multiple schemes. I don't think he really excels at just one.
Yeah.
Which is good because I think in this day and age in the NFL, most most defensive coordinators aren't running just man all day. Or just off man all day, or just cover two all day. You can't. OCs are too smart, they're too bright, they're too innovative. And also there's too much talent at wide receiver right now to be out there just running one type of coverage.
Yeah. This is I'm gonna put some videos in here. We're gonna go through our stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're gonna go through our stuff, okay? This is the software we've been working on. So hold it tight. Right now, it's pretty simple, okay? I'm just gonna bring in the clips of the criticism and the critique or whatever it is. I'm bringing the clips and we're gonna watch the clips together. And I'm gonna stop and start when you want me to. But as it stands right now, I like him. He's a higher floor player. You understand? He's a higher floor. He's a higher floor than we had. He is a high ceiling player, I think. I think he's been playing cornerback. He's been playing cornerback for 2 years. Okay. He came in true freshman and even the redshirt sophomore, all the stuff, and he's been playing cornerback for 2 years. So to be at the level he's at right now is incredible, right? So this guy been only playing cornerback or only playing college football for 2 years, so he can go so far. Now, my only critique right now, and I'm gonna bring in the tracker for this, is well, I got several critiques, but it's this right here. It's the separation, okay? And I know other people are going to look at this separation and they're going to say it's nothing. They're going to say this is nothing. Can y'all see that? Tell me if y'all can see that. Because we spend money on this channel to make it great.
Oh yeah, you know I can see it though.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm gonna show y'all. We're gonna run through the plays. Matter of fact, hold on. I think, yeah. Let me just share the whole video file as opposed to all the video file. The allowing of the separation.
Surrender separation.
So, yeah,
he does it. He does it. You know, it's a couple of reasons why, but yeah, he does.
Here he starts off, and I understand getting your depth. I understand getting your depth and trying to get ready. This is what I think of Terrion. I think he is a better technician of the cornerback position. It's like he tries to do everything right in terms of the technician. When you watch him on film, because when he has to do everything right, he's not out playing out of scope, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, he's not playing out of scope. I just feel as if like I don't know. We can go back to my play. And there's several plays like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's giving up the separation. He's gaining his depth so he doesn't get beat.
Yeah.
He's gaining his depth. He's doing everything right. But once that guy cuts, this is significant because I don't know how I'm losing people in the chat. I'm losing people. Tell me if y'all. I should just let it play. My bad.
Man, you good. You breaking it down. Only the, and you and I have discussed this. Only the true football nerds are gonna really be in depth with this.
Okay.
Because it all, watching film makes everything make sense. I think as a fan or a part of the media, you can sit up and you can talk about, well, you know, this guy can do this guy can do that. I heard he's this, I heard he's that. I watched his highlights on YouTube. You titled the video perfectly. Film don't lie. The film is the one thing you can't look at and say, yeah, I didn't see that. I don't know what you're talking about. Like you can't do that with film.
All right, let me get that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. This is a no catch.
Mm-hmm.
A real receiver, that's a tight end. A real receiver, the Roma Dunzes, the real guys are gonna deal with this, man. The real guys are gonna take this out.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like, I don't know, man. And my tracker got stuck right here. Hold on. But it's gonna show what we've been talking about all along is like he gets so much depth as a player. It's like he and of course in the realm of his defense, he doesn't want to get beat deep. They played a lot of zone, they played a lot of man. You know, they played a lot of like cover two, and then they played a lot of I would say cover one. But they had single high safeties all the time, but he gave up so much. It's just crazy depth. I don't know what it is. It's like the separation is crazy. In this division alone, we got too many receivers, too many guys going to take advantage of this. And it's I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, no, you're not crazy. And I think something else I want to allude to is the fact that if you pay attention to all these games, whether it's the Michigan game, the Ole Miss game, the Texas game for sure, the A&M game, he played a lot of off man, but the depth that he was giving up in some of these games, he only gives that depth up I noticed last season when Caleb Downs wasn't behind him.
Yeah,
And for those who don't know who Caleb Downs is, Caleb Downs is probably a top 15 pick in another year or so.
Caleb
One of the
Downs.
best safeties in college football. He transferred to Ohio State, so Michigan fans, we're going to see a lot of him coming up this season, next season. But Caleb Downs erased a lot of shit for
Yeah.
him. Like if you go to the Texas game, there were a couple plays against Adonai Mitchell that Mitchell
Mhm.
got on top of him. There were a couple plays where Xavier Worthy was able to get on top of him. Now I understand that's 4.21 speed. I get it. Everybody in the league doesn't run 4.21, but there's a lot of 4.3s.
Yeah.
A lot of 4.3s in the league. And, there was one particular play against Texas, against Xavier Worthy, where it was a pass breakup. It was an incomplete pass, but it happened because Caleb Downs was able to get sideline to sideline and get over there and break the play up because Xavier got on top of him and got him by 5 yards. And I'm pretty sure we'll get to that play soon. But like I said,
Mhm.
even what I noticed really about it was that Texas was the only team that really took advantage of them, that tried to. They didn't do it, but they tried to.
Yeah.
They got him on a couple plays, but LSU, you're looking at Brian Thomas, you're talking about Malik Neighbors, Kyron Lacey, for that matter, another guy who should be coming out in another year or so. LSU doesn't really just attack downfield a lot. They're all about equal opportunity. A lot of stuff is underneath. Everybody gets passes. You're talking about a lot of slants, a lot of short digs, a post every now and then, maybe to Brian Thomas or so. But Texas and Quinn Ewers actually went after him and went after Kool-Aid McKinstry. And I think those games are where you saw some of his flaws really jump off. If you look at Michigan,
Mhm.
there was one against Michigan, well, a couple too. Roman Wilson. And I'm starting to look at him now. Okay, maybe it's a situation where Terrion Arnold, he could struggle against like super quick guys,
Mhm.
like the route guys. Because Roman Wilson, when I watch snaps, I watch all the snaps. I don't just watch the targets. Because what I want to see is, okay, even though you didn't get targeted on that play, did you get cooked? Because if you would have gotten targeted, you would have gave up 6 in some of those plays. And there was plays against Michigan where Roman Wilson cooked them.
Right.
There was a couple plays against Texas where Jordan Winnington actually cooked them, hit him
Right.
with a double move. And you don't see too many collegiate wide receivers be that nuanced as far as running double moves and everything like that. So
Right.
I think there's some good concern because, like you
Yeah.
said, you can't surrender. You talking about the NFC, our division, the NFC North? Let's be real about it because you talking about like the route guys. You go through some of these guys. You talking about Justin Jefferson's, the Stephon Diggs of the world, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, C.D. Lamb, Calvin Ridley. He's gonna have to face all of those guys this season,
Yeah.
except for Amari Cooper because we don't play Cleveland, but we play all of those other teams. So I'm more worried about the route guys
Yeah.
because you're looking at the freaks, the A.J. Browns, the D.K. Metcalfs, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chases. Those type of dudes are an entity within themselves.
Yeah.
But how do you handle the route guys, the guys who like Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley, who can sell a
Right.
slant 6 different ways?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the question, Lisa. It's got to be coaching. Some of this stuff is like habit forming, though. I think that like he alluded to, like we go back. Did you get cooked on the outside when the ball is going to the? I guess you got overpowered on that play. Like we could always go back to the plays. I think a good thing for me is that he gets caught with these weak moments and then bounces back. You know, he doesn't have he get caught and then he bounces back and he shows himself again. Like uh, just in all actuality, we can just say that he's not pedestrian out there. There are some stuff where like this is bad, and I think it's seen here, and I highlighted it before. Um, yeah, this right here, this play right here, you can see this on the front side. This is okay. This is gonna be on the front side. Boom, a elite quarterback, a Jared Goff. You know, uh, what's his name? He's gonna lead this receiver. You You're already giving up the separation. You already beat on the route. This is the NFL. This Jaden Down. This is Jaden Down's first read. If he leads the receiver, we're done. We're cooked. Against the tight end, he got overpowered. But it's never too bad. It's never like it's like people catch him off guard. I only catch him off guard. Rookie mistakes, 21 years old. Yes, he's 21 years old. Like this. He's protecting his inside. He's doing everything right. He's doing everything right. This receiver just has that route guide ability, just like he said. That receiver has that route guide ability. So when you start looking at the schedule and piecing stuff together, I don't want to hear y'all flipping out. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Because he's okay. This is my only fault. This is not a lot of faults. You got anything to say about the lack of separation or thereof? Because you were saying it best, and I'm talking to a real scout guy, like I usually do on this channel. We bring in the experts. But did you have anything to say regarding this point?
Just like I said, I know it may come across like we're coming down hard on a Lions player. We're just trying to be fair about it. We can't just sit here and tell you everything is great. We're not gonna sit here and tell you everything is bad. Is he a perfect corner? No, he's not. There's no such thing as a perfect corner. It's just the fact that when you look at the fact that he's very nuanced.
Yeah.
If you're talking about his stance, he stays balanced.
Yeah.
I have a little question about the arm length, for that matter. Not as much as some people do, but you're talking about the technique. You're talking about the fluidity in his hips. He's great underneath, covering those comebacks, those digs, anything outside. He's great. He's really good as far as keeping everything in front of him. But like you said, when it comes to the separation, Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors at LSU had the physical attributes to really expose him and McKinstry. That's if LSU pressed the ball downfield more, which they didn't.
Right.
But like I said, when you looked at Texas, and we're talking about getting to the next level, we're just trying to point out some things, maybe some concerns and positives that we do have on him. But when you get to the next level, everybody's good. Everybody's really good. Even the third guy, the fourth guy on a lot of these teams will get out there. They're too experienced. They've been in the league too long. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to take your game to the next level. And like I said, when you're talking about, even if it's not the route gods, if we're talking about the DK Metcalfs, the big time physical freaks, the Tyreek Hills of the world, like, you're going to have 6, 7, 8 straight games of this type of stuff where you don't quit. We talked about Cam Sutton last season, and Cam Sutton had a horrible stretch of games where he just kept seeing route god after route god after route god. And that dude's a veteran in the league. So, I mean, can you teach speed a little bit? Can you teach him to get more explosive? Sure. You can improve speed a little bit. If a guy can run, and I've always felt this way. If a guy can run 4.53, you can get him to 4.49. And people may say, oh, that doesn't make that much of a difference. It makes a huge difference. In some cornerbacks' cases, the difference between being a first round pick and a second round pick or a third round pick could be 4.49 or 4.53 at the end of the day. So like I said, the separation he gives up, it happens because of he knows with certain guys the lack of speed. It just so happens like the LSU game, they didn't really attack him like that deep. It was a whole lot of comebacks. It was a whole lot of digs. It was outs. It was a lot of stuff that he was able to keep in front of him. And like I said, he had Caleb Downs, who is probably the best safety in college football now, playing behind him, who's now over at Ohio State. So
I thought
the separation, I think, is fine as long as we have quality safety play behind him. I think he's a guy where you're not going to just throw him out there on the outside. That's why I think Detroit is a great position for him. He didn't go to a team that drafted him and expected him to come in and be CB1 from day one with bad safety play and no number 2 and no number 3 corners out there. He's going to a really good defensive backs room now where he doesn't have to be the lockdown guy. He's got Carlton Davis. He's got Amik Robertson. He's got some high-level safety play. You got Kirby Joseph. You got Ifeatu Melifonwu and Brian Branch. I think he's in a perfect situation now for him.
Yeah, and she asked you a question. She asked you a question regarding he's better than what we had last year. Is he better than what we had last year?
I think from a talent standpoint, yes, but at the end of the day, we have to actually watch the games. You know, we can't. It's hard to really say that right now. The dude hasn't even played a preseason game.
I think
I would hope to think he is, but like I said, we have to give these guys time.
I would say he's a higher floor and a higher ceiling player than Kendall Vidor, than Cam Sutton, than anybody we've
Sure.
had in that group, with the exception of Brian Branch. Supporting cast is critical. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, I was scared a little bit initially when I first saw him this offseason when everybody was making film studies, everybody was doing it. Because I didn't, I wanted to actually take my time with it, and I'm so glad I got you on too. It was either going to be you or Bill Carroll. I'm glad I chose you because we can break out our softwares and stuff. But reality is, folks, there's a lot. That was just the one negative thing. He has a lot of passes defense. If we look here, the deep ball, this ball is going to be thrown on the line, and when he has help over the top, and he's going to have Kirby Joseph. Okay, when he has help over the top, he's going to get an interception or he's going to break that ball loose. To me, he has a lot of Peanut Tillman in his game. This was an interception, but he played it so aggressive because he had that extra man.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So he gets more aggressive when he has that safety over the top. He gets more aggressive when he has somebody playing inside leverage and helping him out, or whether he's inside and playing outside leverage. He played like 200 snaps in the slot. So he's
Yeah.
really technical. I like that he doesn't take a chance all the time. He's a real disciplined player. He
Oh
picks
yeah.
his shots. Like, look, this is a ball contested. This is gonna be. I don't know if I got to play it back for y'all, but this is him outside. He was one of the best at the fade route. He was like number one in defending a fade or in the 20. Number one corner in the game at defending a fade or in the red zone. This is Rome Odunze. This is it. Bust that ball out. He realizes from every standpoint that this is what it's about. See ball, get ball out of there. He played it conservative. He could have tried to go for the pick, but he get that out of the way. That's what I really
Yeah.
respect about his game.
Yeah. He doesn't panic a lot either. Which I think
Yeah.
is good. Now, we do have there is film now.
Oh yeah, he
there
panicked.
is film now of
I'm not him on panic mode.
yeah, there is film like the one of Don Mitchell play where Mitchell just ran a straight fade. He jogged off the line of scrimmage, which is pretty much how you're supposed to sell the fade, because typically when guys take off at the line of scrimmage, they release extra low, head down, and they're digging real hard. That means that they're more than likely they're going to run the comeback. So he
Okay.
jogged off the line of scrimmage, sold a comeback for the most part, and got deep on them. The problem I had with that particular play was that as soon as Adonai Mitchell got on top of him, he grabbed and he held for the next 6 yards. And I understand you want, as a DB, you're taught to, hey, listen, I would rather you give up the pass interference over you giving up the 70-yard touchdown. I get it. But a lot of the handsy plays that he had also in college, it's not gonna fly in the NFL until you earn these officials' respect.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let a young corner come in and just grab people all the time and get away with it. You got to earn respect in order to get that. So, like I said, man, I think overall with him, he's a really solid corner. I'm gonna say something people may not like because we're in a day and age where everybody has to be everything. From day one, even watching him last year at Alabama, I always felt he was probably better suited for the slot. I think he's going to end up being a slot at the next level, and there's nothing wrong with that. Slots are starters. Sometimes as fans, we get offended by, oh, slot corner, you're insulting the guy. No, he's a starter. He's a very good player. And it's the same sense of when you talk about wide receivers.
Yeah.
If you call a guy a possession receiver, people get all up in arms about it.
Right.
Or you're insulting him. He's not a possession receiver. He's this, he's that. No, possession receivers are in the Hall of Fame.
That's it.
So yeah.
And I love the way he plays through a man. And
Mm-hmm.
all these plays are him playing through a man or him allowing the catch and then breaking it up
Yeah.
at the point of attack. He's
Yeah.
clearly be here. He could
Mm-hmm.
give up. He had the heart enough. I think it was nope. It was a clean play. There's some pass interference plays in this cut up. Okay, I didn't watch this 20 times, but this is what we got a steal here at 24 to get a. But some people believe is the number one corner. I thought he was at least a number 2 or 3, and I only had Quinyon Mitchell above him, and I only had Wiggins above him because Wiggins' speed is so crazy.
Well, me too. Me too.
But this right here, this is a technician at work. When
Yeah.
when he can break that ball loose, like he plays through a man. Okay. And when he sees that ball in the air coming and he's at a disadvantage, he doesn't just give up. I remember, matter of fact, let me put a play in that really, really symbolizes what I'm talking about. Because I don't want to be, I want to put a play in of a Detroit Lion that is the type of receivers we're talking about on brand for us. That this is why I have my criticisms and this is why I have my doubts. Okay. So without further ado, this is I don't want to share a screen. I want to share a video file. This is a guy named Amon Ra. Okay. This is Amon Ra. Okay. This is Amon Ra, Carlton Davis. This is what I meant by the separation.
Right there in the slot.
In the slot, right?
Mhm.
Amon Ra, if you don't know, is going to come down with this ball. But I'm going to let y'all see, and this is why I care about the separation. On elite receivers, this is a 3rd and 2. They got it. This is why I have my criticism on separation. That's Carlton Davis, by the way. Again, I don't want nobody to say, "Oh, I'm dissing Carlton Davis." I don't want nobody.
No,
to say,
that's actually a good rep from Carlton Davis.
It's
He
good
handled
rep.
every. He stayed squared. He used his hands. St. Brown just made a better play, and sometimes the wide receiver makes the play. Sometimes the corner makes the play.
That's it. And that's why, like with Terrion, Terrion's gonna play through that ball. He's gonna play
Yeah.
through it, and it's gonna be lights out, amazing. I want to see it from the. I know I got my stuff looking ghetto, but I want to see it from. Nah, we seen the play. We don't even need to see it. I don't even know what to do with it.
Well, I will say this about him too. Even though he doesn't have like the elite speed, and that's one of my knocks on him is the downfield speed with him. He does a pretty good job of staying in phase. And even with the faster wide receivers downfield on on fades or whatnot, he does an excellent job of squeezing the receiver to the sideline. So that goes back to what you initially said. He's a technician. He's a student of the game. I just wish that as good as he is within the first 5 yards, as disciplined as he is with his footwork, his punch, his overall ability to keep his eye discipline for that matter. He's good with keeping his eyes on the hips. I wish that once he got downfield, instead of getting so handsy up top, just place your hand on his hip.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I was taught. They not going to call that. And I wish more DBs in the NFL would do this. Instead of panicking when you got a guy on top of you downfield and you get his hand. First of all, this is pass interference, bro.
Yeah.
This is pass interference. You can't do that. He got away with that a lot in the SEC. I guess he had the reputation at that point in time, but this is pass interference. Whenever that hand comes inside the pass, you get the tugging like he did a couple times because of Don Mitchell and a few other players. You're not getting away with that. All you got to do, squeeze him to the sideline. Just gently put your hand on his hip. Pause. And, just gently squeeze him to the sideline. Push him. That's all you got to do. They never going to call that. Never going to call it. But you're right. Also, in a lot of cases, when the ball is in the air, he gets his head around. which is good for him, which is good for DBs, because in a lot of cases, if you get your head around, even if you commit, unless you commit blatant pass interference, you can commit a little bit of pass interference, but if you get your head around and make it shown that you're actually trying to make a play on the football, they'll let you get away with it. So I do think he's got enough tools. He's a big enough of a technician and a student of the game that he's going to get better. I'm not sure if he's going to be. So I understand as fans, we're really big on our rookies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear people talking about he's going to be the next Revis. He's going to be this. He's going to be that.
Mm-hmm.
That's yet to be seen. But I don't really have too many issues with him aside from the low end speed, as far as him getting downfield, being able to really hold his own out there on the island. Because we being real about it, and this is a big reason I'm gonna let everybody know why I'm so huge on elite traits for cornerbacks. And we can look back in history.
Before we get to that, let me get my sponsor. Okay, I's got to get my sponsor. Yeah, this is probably gonna be. Oh man, my bad. Showing Jared Goff. This is Huddle Sports. Let me get my sponsor. My minute spot?
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Yeah, I had to get them in there. But why you care about elite traits so much? Because me and you kind of differ on that.
Well, even if we get into, the all-time great corners, even the guys that aren't like really mentioned as the all-time greats, like Aeneas Williams. Aeneas Williams was another technician.
Yeah.
And I think that's somebody that he could possibly look up to. Now, I may be dating myself. There may be some people in the comment section that may be talking about, what? Aeneas Williams? Who the hell is that? But Aeneas Williams is a Hall of Famer. All-time great corner. He was a big-time technician. Wasn't the greatest athlete. He was fast enough. But, he was a technician at what he did. But the reason I'm so big on elite physical traits, especially the speed thing, Darrell Green was a perfect example of it. It's hard as a DB as a corner to always stay in phase. So therefore, how do you handle things when you get out of phase? And this goes back to what you were initially saying about the separation he gives up. You can't look at that. Look at that right there. You can't give Justin Jefferson a release like that. There's not too many receivers in the league you can give that to. Listen, you're out of phase before the ball is even snapped.
Yeah. Oh,
so what are you gonna do? Yeah.
That double move, man.
Yeah. So it's like, that's why I said I'm big on the elite traits. You look at the Champ Baileys of the world, the Charles Woodsons, the Darrell Greens. Not so much the older guys, even though I do like some of the older corners like Mike Haynes and those guys. Some guys I felt like could play in this year, not this year, but this league. Even Revis. Revis wasn't a big time athlete, but Revis was a good enough athlete.
Yeah.
And he was another technician. It's just hard to play out of phase. You look at guys like Jair Alexander, for example, who I think is an excellent corner. He plays in phase. He can play out of phase. He's also a guy where he can bait you, and that's how you get the picks. Yeah. You ask people, how does Trayvon Diggs get majority of the picks he gets? Well, he's a big-time athlete. He's got size. He's got instincts. He also baits quarterbacks into those throws by playing out of phase. So I think it's necessary. I still feel like it's necessary. We don't have a lot of obvious examples of all-time great boundary corners that weren't great athletes. If you look at the guys that are in the Hall of Fame that weren't really big-time athletes, most of them were slot corners. Rondé Barber, Hall of Famer, slot corner, was great within the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. Ashanti Samuel, all-pro slot. Wasn't a great athlete, but he was great at what they needed him to do. And if you look at Barber and Samuel, people give Asante Samuel a lot of credit because of the picks and the pick sixes. He was also a really good tackler, just like Rondé Barber was. Yeah. And I think Arnold is more so, to me, on par with those types of guys. And we talking about Hall of Famers. So that's not dissing him. I'm still comparing him to Hall of Famers. We just don't have a lot of examples of the all-time great corners not being high-end athletes, because you're talking about guys that on the boundary, on the perimeter, you have to be able to man up against everybody.
Okay, I want to show y'all something because the arrow did not give it justice. This is 3. Man, maybe I could do this. I love this software. Okay, we're gonna keep this coming. Okay, if I'm the only one excited about this, we're gonna keep this coming. You can't do this in Chicago. Can you do this in Chicago? I don't know. Let me see. Let me see what you could do in Chicago. Oh! Oh! Look. I know. I let him be the fact checker. Okay. I let him be the all facts. Okay. I will be the comedy relief of the show.
No, man, you got facts. You know this. You know all of this just like I know it.
Look, I'm with Lisa. Those elite traits are something, and the Lions want people that progress. But there was elite traits before. There was elite traits with, you guys are needling out. Nice work. Thank you. Yeah, but there was elite traits with guys like Tariq Woolen, guys like, you had a chance at elite traits. And then the best technician with some great traits was Witherspoon. And I think when we didn't get Witherspoon, we said, okay, we can get Brian Branch because he's coachable. And he's like, he's the same type of player. And he's like the best. He came in as the best corner day one. Terrion Arnold is probably not going to be Brian Branch. But if he's at least 80% of what Brian Branch gave, that's a positive day. That's a positive draft. Because 80% of Brian Branch, that's the best you can get in the first round. Year one, I think there's a comment in there that said, like, by week 8, week 10, he's going to kill. And I believe that. I really believe that, for real.
Well, I'm going to ask you a quick question. What do you think, in your personal opinion, is the biggest reason a lot of cornerbacks fail transferring from college to NFL? Because we've seen, and I know, I'm going to be honest about it, I'm a traits guy. We've seen a lot of these traits guys fail too.
Where's he at?
We had one here in Detroit, in Jeff Okudah. Jeff had the 40-inch vertical. Jeff had the sub 4.4. Jeff had all of these numbers. Big problem was Jeff had terrible hips. Jeff's confidence was also shot. I think I don't know if it was necessarily the regime that he played under, but tearing that ACL set him back a lot. But he had the elite traits, and he took those same elite traits over to the Atlanta Falcons. And what happened? He got benched over there. You're talking about C.J. Henderson, which is interesting because I think C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah both play for the Atlanta Falcons right now. And they were both first-round picks in the same draft. C.J. Henderson ran the sub, the 4.3. He had the 40-inch vertical. He bench pressed almost 300-something pounds. What happened? Couldn't handle double moves. So what do you think the ultimate problem is for a lot of corners? I think it's just being able to handle the route guys, because in college, from a technical standpoint, you don't see too many route guys in college.
Yeah, I think it's, for me, I think speed can be declining, but it's never going to be a detriment. I mean, it's never like, if you focus all your abilities on being a technician, you'll be at an advantage. If you focus all your ability on being a technician, you'll be at an advantage. I think the reason why most cornerbacks fail is confidence. Because I think if you can coach a guy and coach a guy and coach a guy, and you're telling him all the right things, and you're telling him to open up his hips, and you're telling him outside leverage, and you're telling them inside press, and you're telling them don't get beat off the inside. You're moving him from a zone coverage scheme to a man coverage scheme. Like, if he's not having early success or not at least competing, it's a death inside of him. There's like a change of, because like you said, a guy could have like 4.2 speed, okay? And for me, I just feel like quiet confidence is necessary. Confidence is so necessary because you can tell a guy anything. I mean, look at this. I don't know if I can come back from this. This is a double play. And even though
that's the play I was talking about. That's the Don Mitchell, right? Yeah.
That's Don Mitchell.
That's him.
That's when I can't come back from that, because check this out. Here I am panicking already. It's a double pass. Yeah. I'm already panicking. I'm already holding on. I'm already doing crazy stuff. And no matter what, that's a catch to me. You just got pass interference.
And thank you. And that's what I was initially talking about. A lot of times people go through film studies and they just focus on, well, how many times was the guy targeted? He was targeted 9 times. I just want to see those plays. No, even though the tight end may have caught the ball on the out, or the ball may have went to the backside or whatever it may be, you didn't know that's where the ball was going. As a corner, your job is to man your post. So at the snap, you don't know where the hell the ball is going. So to me, I still pay attention to these plays, even where you don't get targeted as a corner, because you still got cooked. The quarterback just chose not to throw you the football. And that doesn't necessarily always happen to the NFL. You know, even in this game right here, there was a play later on in the fourth quarter where Jordan Whittington routed him up with a double move, got open. I'm talking about 7-8 yards of open. And Quinn Ewers never looked his way.
Yeah.
So every snap matters as a corner, not just the targets.
Look, man, I don't know what we're doing. We should have 40, 100 in the chat. This is a dose of Dion level, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I even slowed this play down because that double move again. That double move will kill you. That double move will open up everything and cause that separation. And to me, this is like when I say quiet confidence and stuff like that, this cuts at my soul. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need an interception to really like prove I'm the guy. I need to jam this guy up and put him on the ground next play. Like,
them double moves eat cornerbacks up, and it don't matter whether you run 4-2 or you run 4-6. Because if you can't handle those double moves, what typically happens? You cross your feet up. And once you get to crossing your feet up as a DB, you cooked.
Craig Haig agreed with me. Craig Hall, he agreed with me. Look, and I think you did a little bit.
Due to our current Devin would be surprised if he said Terrion Arnold didn't start game 1. I think sometimes we get too caught up in who starts and who doesn't. Because at the end of the day, you may not come out possession 1 to even play of the game. You may still play 40 snaps, you know, and you're looking at the current state of the NFL where everybody's running. Even though I do think offensively teams, due to what the Lions were able to do last season, last couple seasons, the 49ers rushing attack, even the Kansas City Chiefs for that matter, and how innovative Andy Reid is with their rushing attack, teams are getting back to running the football. You know, that's why a lot of teams are comfortable drafting tight ends earlier now, because they want to go to more 22-man personnel. They want to be able to run the ball. They want to be able to attack the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the teams are following the Detroit Lions. Like, they want to get back to actually, like, we don't want to throw it with Josh Allen 50 times. And look at this. This is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, this is straight down the field. Y'all realize I just marked this up to showboat, so never mind. Anyway, they understand. I'm just marking it. I'm just doing my little thing. I haven't even shown y'all the clouds with the zone defense yet. Like, this is a savage play, bro. And you can't have this. On the Lions, he had this, and then he go to his little Twitter, because you know that's what he do. He liked to be on Twitter. I don't know if you know that, but he liked to be on the show, and I'm a star. Yeah, okay, whatever the heck. That's the only thing I don't like about him for real. Like, bro, like you haven't played a dime, but you're making statuses and living your life. You're 21 years old, but come on, man. Like, well, not everything needs a dang a
Yeah.
moment.
I just think, you know, there's levels to it, man. And, you know, going from high school to college for most athletes, not just corners in general, but for most athletes, some guys can't translate from high school to college because when you go from high school and being the best athlete, the best player in your district, the best athlete, the best player maybe in your state, and then you get to Alabama and you realize, oh shit, there's 11 more of me on this team. It doesn't always work that way. That's why I think when you look at these film studies, we're just talking about how guys' games translate to the next level.
Yeah.
Because offenses are more complex. I think more offenses in the NFL, they're geared toward, especially in the passing game, also in the run game too, which we're gonna get to in a second because I think he's a really good tackler.
Yeah.
But
He is.
if you have whatever your weaknesses are in the NFL, they're gonna hold no mercy on you. They're gonna attack you. And most teams aren't gonna do like what LSU did offensively. Once they figure you can't run or you can't handle double moves, they're gonna kill you. So like if we're expecting him to just step in and lock up Justin Jefferson or lock up even the Christian Watsons, even though I don't think Christian Watson is all that great the way some Packer fans do, but he can run. He's a big, tall, athletic, fast guy.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many different cornerback. There's so many different wide receivers in the league that you need to be able to cover on a week in, week out basis. You know, but I do think as far as tackling wise, some of the stuff I see from him, I think he's really good as a tackler. He comes across to me as a better cloud corner.
Yeah.
Like within cover two, because
Yeah.
he sees everything for what it is in front of him, for damn sure. He diagnoses, he reads, he diagnoses.
Yeah.
He attacks the ball carrier. And
Look
he's
at
not a guy, he's not a small corner that just throws his body in there and hopes he gets somebody down. Perfect example right there.
Yeah. You know what I like about him? I like the block shed.
Yeah.
The block shed is crazy on this dude. This dude is going to, and I'm not going to mark it up too bad, but this dude always, in every situation, he's gonna cut the block or he's gonna create contact and then get away. And I just love that about him because he's always in the mix in every play. Look, he's in the mix. He read that play perfectly and he chops down like he's Branch. He's Branch, and that's why I say when I say like he's a slot corner and everything, and everybody come for me, and I say he's a slot corner, he will allow Brian Branch to be that strong safety, so you won't get no busted coverage on the back end. He can just fill in that Brian Branch role and be as good as Brian Branch was. I just, when I say that,
I don't get it, man. It's like it's not an insult, man.
You're not gonna find Tariq Woolen in that draft. Okay, there was 3 players that they was talking about the most. They was talking about my man from Toledo, Quinyon Mitchell, because his press coverage. Okay, the knock on him it wasn't even a knock.
The competition.
The competition, but he was good.
Yeah.
The thing about Terrion was great technician, not elite traits. And the thing about what's his name, Wiggins.
Nate Wiggins off the field, can't tackle. 178 pounds.
We got the best corner to fit this team in the first round. They probably, if Terrion wasn't there, they probably would have drafted like a defensive end, or they probably would have got Rakestraw.
You know what though? That's a good assessment because I still feel like even though immediately after the draft, and what do you expect the GM to say? He said that Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw, they had rated as the 2 best corners in the draft. I don't know how honest that is, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to say that.
That's honest because look at what you had to deal with. You have a guy in Quinyon we don't know the competition he's going against. We don't know.
But he showed up at the combine in Tariq Woolen fashion, even though he's not the bigger athlete that Tariq Woolen was. He still showed up at the combine and did everything and answered every question everybody asked of him, physically and in the interview process. I still believe that if if the Eagles wouldn't have taken him 4 spots ahead of us, 5 spots ahead of us, I still believe Mitchell probably would have been the pick. I do. Because I think Quinyon Mitchell is a guy who, and Lions fans may feel like, why you're bigging up a player that doesn't play for us? And we just being honest about it, because you and I both felt like Quinyon Mitchell was the best corner in this draft. He had the size.
Yeah.
He had the strength.
Yeah.
He had the explosiveness. He had the downfield speed.
Yeah.
There were no knocks on Quinyon Mitchell except for the fact that he came from the MAC.
Yeah, this is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. This is my allotment, my disrespect allotment. Okay. If y'all want to listen to 97 Won a Ticket, go ahead. If y'all want to listen to Wilbur Sports, go ahead. But they're not getting this in depth because they can't and they don't want to. Okay. And that's no disrespect to certain people. That's like Neil Rule, absolutely. But Easy and them guys, the heavyweights are great guys. The rest of them, I mean, I like the skinny guy too. But anyway, what I'm saying to you is follow this man right here. He's got more draft stuff than I do. And obviously, y'all know my history. I don't have to bring it up. Y'all know I'm that guy with the draft. But this guy right here is better than me, man. He is better than me, man. I'm telling you that right now.
Man, stop it. we both nerds in this.
Yeah.
We both nerds in this. Being able to do this right now in the middle of July makes it easier to go ahead and evaluate these players after, the season is over with. Because a lot of people, they don't start talking draft and prospects until after the Super Bowl is over. We've set up and watched games from Terrion Arnold from 2022, 2023. So we've watched the evolution of them. So we're not just throwing this on talking about, okay, he did this, he did that. He's not good, he is good. Or we just not just sitting up watching highlights on YouTube, because I think that's the number one way fans get fooled by these players. Mm-hmm. They see the YouTube highlights, because the same way you can put together a package of highlights for a player, you can put together a package of lowlights. There's knocks on all these players. But just being honest about it, like I said, in the run game, and I think that was a big reason why they liked him too. He's a playable player. And what I mean by that is he's not a corner that's just a cover corner. And then when you put him in there in cloud situations, opposing offenses like Detroit, which he plays for, but opposing offenses like that maybe offensively run their game like Detroit offensively are going to set out to destroy him. It's not a situation like that. Like I said, he's a really good player. I just don't think he was the best overall corner in the draft, simply because I still stick to what I say. This is my personal opinion. Yeah. I'm a traits guy. That's just how it is when you're talking about boundary corners. Now, are traits the end all be all? No, because we have good examples of physical traits guys who turned out to be nothing.
And that's Brian Branch right here. This is from 2022. This play specifically, or this game. But yeah, this is like
he's got a ton of help with us. Ifeatu Melifonwu, if he continues to develop. Yeah. He's a guy that can play sideline to sideline as well. 6'3", 212 pounds. He can play some corner. Up close. He can play the slot. You can match him up against bigger safeties. So he's in a cornerback room right now with so much versatility and help that we can allow him to grow. And I think someone mentioned that in the comment section. He's in a situation where he can grow with us. He's not where? Who the hell had in the top 10 that was considering drafting the corner? He's just not going to a bad situation.
Yeah. I love him. I like him. I like him a lot. I like him a lot because I think he was the perfect fit for the perfect situation for both sides. To me, it's a little bit of a filler draft because you know what you needed. The whole world knew what you needed. We covered last week on this channel about what you needed. Yeah. Right? What you needed was on display for the 49ers game. Everything was shown. So for me, this guy right here, like, if I gotta pick between a guy from a small school that might be out of reach, might go, at the latest 12, and then I get the 11th best player in the draft on most mocks at 24, I won. He's not sexy, but he gets the job done. And I love Terrion because he gets the job done. I think that's the key.
Yeah. So what are your positives on him?
How does Terrion Arnold hit? Maybe I missed it. Oh yeah, we showed the tackling. I can play the cut ups attack. My
Tailor
thoughts,
Made Media. What's up, man?
yeah. We are practically. I'm gonna get to my thoughts. I'm just gonna read these
Hmm.
comments. We are practically the Alabama Lions.
So that means we're gonna draft Jalen Milroe
Yeah.
next season.
Don't say that. Those are. I wonder if Brad Holmes was still trying. I don't know. Let's see Savage go. Yeah, that's a good play. You said, what are my thoughts on Terrion? Or what I like about
As far as like his positives, I got a list of positives, a list of negatives. My
Well,
list of positives is way longer than my list of negatives on him, though.
I love his tackling. I
Yeah.
love his ability to get in the mix as a cornerback. I like his versatility. I like. I think he's a player that's not going to be easily rattled, and that's because of his confidence. I like that trait that he has, that star power trait. I don't really care for it, but I know it's necessary in his position. It's needed in his position. Not everybody can be like Darrell Revis and they just be quiet the whole game. There's some positives I see. I mean, to go from playing 2 years, true freshman, and then you're redshirt sophomore, and then and this is you right now.
Oh
That's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. 2 years of college football. That's amazing. I love that he mixes it up. I love that he had an ascent, because when I watched the 22 tape, he all right.
No,
But when I watch
he improved tremendously.
when I watch 24, okay, we got a player here. He's a player, and I like him a lot because he's gonna fit that role. Now his personality is bigger than a role player, but still like him.
Well, also I think what I really like about it, the fact I'm good to see exactly what your school thinks about you. Because when you follow a lot of Alabama content creators, they're gonna tell you the truth about their players. Alabama loved them. And there's a few, I'm gonna get to them when I can, but there's a few Alabama but Alabama Crimson Tide content creators I do follow. And most of them said that he was better than McKinstry. That they said he evolved, he got better overall as a technician of the position than McKinstry did.
And five
So
picks.
if you want to get the honesty about these players, go check out some of their former school, their opinions on them,
Yeah.
and you'll get it. But I think he's if I can go through my list of positives real quick, I think he's an edge setter, staying on the run game.
That's a fact.
He does a great job of setting the edge. He's going to throw his body in there. He's going to throw his nose in there. He's going to make tackles. He's not going to just throw his body in there and hope he hits somebody or stop somebody or trip somebody up. Yeah, he's going to do that. I think he's got decent size, around 5'11 and a half, 190, which is pretty good. I don't like my corners too much under 187 maybe. So I think he's got pretty decent size at 5'11, 196. Very aggressive. In the run game, he's very aggressive at the line of scrimmage. And as we mentioned earlier in the show, a lot of that has to do with the fact that he had the best athlete at safety playing behind him in the country last year, too, in Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Very patient. He looks really comfortable in the stance at the line of scrimmage. He's balanced. His footwork is solid. Like he's a really good technician. Really good technician. You're talking about the eye discipline. You're talking about his short area quickness, talking about his change of direction skills, the ball skills as far as the pass breakups, and him being able to get his head around. And as Lions fans, we remember we had a corner. We had a few of them. We had one corner that never got his damn head around by the name of Bryant Westbrook. And that man, Bryant Westbrook, led the league in penalties how many times?
I just remember a Mario Warrior. See, you go all the way back. Did you?
Oh
did
yeah.
Did you see
Chris
Benny
Houston?
Blaze play? You seen Benny Blaze play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I'm 41. Of course I've seen Benny Blaze play. This man asked me if I've seen Benny Blaze play.
I'm like, man. I know I'm the youngest one in the building. I'm 32 years old. But go ahead. I'm sorry. My bad.
No, I just think also, the physicality and the run support. he's an underneath route eraser. Another reason why I think he would be really damn good in the slot.
Yeah.
I think you can play him in the slot. I think you can play him outside. His success to me is going to be completely based upon, on a Sunday to Sunday basis, what is his matchups?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's going to be some guys that he can play on the outside. There's going to be some wide receivers you can look at and say, hey, now, whoa, now. Let's bring you inside this week against this slot right here.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, I think he's a really good player. I think he's more suited to be off man, cover two, sort of a cloud corner because he's so good in run support. But if you have quality safety play behind him, I think you got a damn good player.
Yeah, and you got that with Kirby.
Yeah.
And then if you put Brian Branch up there, woo, that's a rebuild. That's a rebuild because now you can put Rakestraw, whoever is going to get the nod. Because someone mentioned to me last week, I forgot about Mosley, and
yeah, that's because out of sight, out of mind. We didn't see anything from Mosley. Mosley came in for 2 plays against Carolina.
Yeah,
and got hurt and was out again. Yeah, if Mosley, we went from 0 help at cornerback for about 38 years.
Yeah.
To now, the defensive backs room has become an area of strength for us. You talking about now? What if Mosley comes back and is healthy? Mosley was a good player for San Francisco. He just could never stay healthy. So what if he's healthy?
I like
and Carlton Davis is healthy, playing well, and Amik Robertson is healthy.
Yeah, because I remember seeing Mosley in that game against Stafford, the NFC Championship game, and the game.
What up, Dale?
And we got a few veterans I can keep up. Yeah. I think Mosley, if Mosley comes back, he had 2 ACLs in 2 years. If Mosley comes back, I think that's a promising situation because that adds some type of stability. You got Carlton, you got Mosley, you got probably Terrion or Rakestraw inside. You got, now you have like real quality of depth. And I think someone mentioned Amik Robertson as well, which is a Rakestraw clone. Just his ability to play outside, his ability to play inside. He did better on the outside in college. I know I watched the tape. I know I had the video saying he was just a regular dude, whatever. But that's secondary right now. Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch of safety. Man, that's just perfect right there because Tracy Walker was a fool. And then, man, that would be so good.
Call this man a fool. No, I get you. Like I said, we went so long, man. We had the Brian Westbrooks and the Chris Houstons and the Terry Fairs of the world. And if I'm missing any terrible corners in the comment section, throw them out because I've been crying for years to draft a corner.
Newman.
Yeah.
So you so stuck on the past. You so stuck. You stuck
Yeah,
on
because dude, but listen, think about how many terrible corners we had to try out there though.
Yeah.
Like I was a big Christian Gonzalez guy last year. That was initially who I wanted. Gonzalez was on pace to be rookie of the year with the Patriots before he tore his pectoral muscle. Was it a pectoral muscle or an elbow injury? It was something that put him out for the season.
I think it was a leg, Achilles or something. It was something with a leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked the Gonzalez too, and I was told I was crazy. Whatever, it don't matter. They got a running back. So.
Like we said, we kind of believe that they missed out on Witherspoon last year. This man, Lisa threw Will Harris out there. Yeah, him too. But yeah, we thought that Witherspoon, they kind of felt like they missed out on him. So when I looked at Rakestraw last season and why I felt like the Lions were loving him, it's because, okay, you know what? He's sort of a clone of him.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't have the elite physical traits. He didn't run the 4.38 like Witherspoon ran or whatever. I was hoping we would draft Kyrie Jackson. Yeah. Me and Ashanti talked about him. 6'3", 212 pounds. A lot of people were concerned about his short area quickness and whatnot. And it's sad, rest in peace, because that boy was he was cutting up in camp for the Vikings. He was on pace from what I heard from some Vikings content creators to be their starting corner next season. Yeah. And it's terrible what happened to him.
Yeah, that's RIP to Kyrie.
And his high school teammates.
Yeah, and his high school teammates. Yeah. Yeah, I see people from Oregon and people. You know what they talk about? They talk about his spirit, how he lift the room, and that's really nice to know that he was.
He was a hard worker too. The boy came from what, JC, junior college,
Yeah,
and all the way to Alabama to get to Oregon, all the way to finally realize your dream of making it to the NFL, to then lose everything because of some assholes. So yeah,
yeah. RP Kyrie, RP Kyrie, man. That's tough, man. I feel for them. I really do. That's real life, man.
yeah, because it's gonna happen to anybody.
Yeah, you know, that's a fear when I'm driving my daughter to camp or daycare or whatever.
Oh
Like, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? I try to be in the house as much as possible because I can't account for everybody else's recklessness in society. Um, but yeah, it's hard for me to talk about that. That was the first time I talked about that because I was sad about it for him too.
I'm real big on the youth too. You
Yeah,
know, I'm blessed to have made it to the age of 41 so far. Hopefully, I see another 41 years. But like I said, I'm really big on the youth, and it really kills me when I see young people go early, especially because of some BS.
yeah, exactly. And I just feel like I don't know. I feel like my heart really mourns because, football is a form of escapism for a lot of us. And sometimes I wake up, man. I remember like maybe like last week I wanted to post something in my community chat, and I wanted to post. I woke up. Politics is trash. The money is trash. Inflation is trash. The economy is trash. But my Lions are not trash. And these lions and this ability to do this content stuff really makes me happy to look forward to what's going to happen. My family does that too, but still, like, yeah. At 63, we had groceries delivered as well. Make a killing almost. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, shout out to you, 63rd. Shout out for you. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. But I definitely want to change gears here. I really love Terrion for this team. For me, it's just like, oh, you can have the ambient sound. It's cool, man. We're not a professional show.
Man, listen.
you know,
I'm mute out of respect. I don't want baby voices all in the background, video game playing and whatnot. It's all due respect, brother.
yeah, yeah. But it's the reality of it is this is the best fit for both people, the team and
Yeah.
him. And I think when they drafted him, it kind of showed when they showed the little clip of the team. They just like, it's like there was more happy. If you go back and look, there was more happy for Racetraw for Terrion. It was like, this is a surprise. Everybody was genuinely
Yeah.
surprised. But that's what's up, Spirit Troy. Thank you, brother. But what are your thoughts on Terrion in terms of him gelling? Because I seen a comment, I thought it was really good. I was trying to get to it. I think they left. I don't know, but how long is this defense going to take to gel? Like, you could take your time if you want, because I'm curious.
Um, I think in general it shouldn't take too long. You got veterans. Someone brought that up in the comment section. You got a veteran like Carlton Davis. He had a couple of injuries. He had a hip issue with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a guy who there's no guarantee he'll be here for 2 years. There's no guarantee he'll be here after this upcoming year because Brad Holmes, he's willing to take chances on people. And we did draft 2 corners. And I think that's something people also need to pay attention to is the fact that, yeah, we went out, we signed Carlton Davis, then we signed Meek Robertson, and then we went and drafted 2 corners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
So I don't think it should take too long, simply because in Terrion's case, he's not, like I said, he's not put into a situation. If he would have got drafted by Arizona, like in a situation where, okay, the cupboard is empty, even though he would have had Buda Baker helping him out over there. But if he would have went to a situation where the cupboard was damn near empty in the cornerback room and they would have thrown him out there to be the savior, I think he would have had a ton of issues. But I just think that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done such a great job of rebuilding this roster, getting the right quality players here character-wise, and rebuilding that cornerback room in one offseason to the point that he's going to be fine. If we go back to what the cornerback situation looked like year one here, we ain't talking about the receiver room, what that looked like, but the cornerback room, what it looked like year one here compared to what that man has turned it into now in one offseason, hell, we should be good. I don't think it'll take long to gel at all. Because if you're talking about what Aaron Glenn likes to do defensively, their big reason for taking Rakestraw and Terrion Arnold was for the fact that, and Dan Campbell said this, we need to be able to play more man, you know. And I agree. We couldn't play man with Vildor. We for damn sure couldn't play no man last year with Sutton. And it felt like, as good as the roster had gotten last season compared to the previous offseason, it still felt like whenever we looked at the cornerback room, it was like opening the refrigerator and nothing was in it.
Yeah.
That, like, to me, that's what it felt like. Every time we suffer any type of injury at corner, I felt like the starving dude who was between checks.
Yeah.
And you open your refrigerator and all you see in the refrigerator is that old ass box of baking soda, some expired milk.
Oh man. Dang.
I'm saying some expired milk and maybe a old ass bowl of baked beans from last Thanksgiving that you forgot about. Like, that's how bad our cornerback room was.
I ain't even got that in my refrigerator. I say when my refrigerator is bare, there's a beer, some milk, and some cereal.
And that too. That old ass flat beer that you opened a week ago and didn't finish.
Yeah.
like that's what our cornerback room was. And this man turned things around. Because I've been complaining for the last 3-4 years, bro, about the cornerback room. And I'm just glad to see that this man looked at the NFC Championship. He and Dan Campbell both said this. Craig, I look at your fridge. But that's the thing, though. This man said, you know what? He slammed the refrigerator door closed. And he said, this ain't going to work. Hand me my Sam's Club card.
Yeah.
And he went out this all season and he fixed things, man. I'm glad to see it, bro.
Yeah, my wife was a sharpshooter in the Army, so she was always getting 30s and 35s. And she told me, I think my name down there, my real name, Lamar, we need to reload. We need to reload. Yeah. So for the refrigerator, but Walt, you going to a dark place.
Hey, Mike, what's up, man? Mike is always on our channel too, man. Thanks for the support, bro. Yeah.
Hey, look, I love this group, and I love that they've embraced this new style I'm trying to do, this like live stream stuff, because this is cool, man. And then I gotta bring you on if you have time, probably next week for Rakestraw. I don't know if there's gonna be a holiday next week. I don't know. I lose track. I know back to school shopping and kids and stuff like that. But we got to get in that Rakestraw film. Matter of fact, I'm getting so much film. Oh no. I think.
All right, it looked like things froze up for him a little bit, but until he gets back on. So, what do you guys think about Rakestraw? Without getting too deep into it right now, because we did touch on Rakestraw a little bit earlier. They know a lot about those Missouri players. We know we talked about before the draft started, the defensive end from Missouri that was linked to us for a while. They got some other prospects coming out next year. Wide receiver Luther Burton, who could potentially be on the Detroit Lions radar for that matter. But, Rakestraw is another guy who, if it wasn't for the 40 time, probably would have been a first round pick. But the borderline 4.56, 4.7 for 4.57 40 didn't cut it for a lot of people at all. But I will say this. I do believe that in this Rakestraw style of play, Terrion Arnold style of play, especially in the red zone, it's going to be hell for teams to throw the ball on us. It's going to be hell. It's going to be hell for sure. I know we got to get into, even aside from Rakestraw, we got to get into the other guys. The offensive tackle, of course, Giovanni Manu, Makai Wingo, the defensive tackle from LSU and whatnot. Let me see. He said he goes over here. Well, this man having some real issues. I see right now. Yeah, Mike said Mike Barker, Hotmail, always joins us too while you go into a dark place. I'm just saying, man, as Lions fans, we lived in a dark place. We lived in a dark place. If you really want to go back to quality of cornerbacks, you talking about Darius Slay. And Darius Slay wasn't even a first-round pick. Should have been a first-round pick, but he wasn't. But, the Kevin Abrams and the Terry Fairs and the Bryant Westbrooks and all those guys, we've seen enough of those. We've seen enough of them. And I think this regime got everything set up in play where Terrion Arnold can grow under us. Ennis Rakestraw can grow under us. And now we have a cornerback room that can be feared. And if we get any type of pass rush up front, it's going to be curtains for guys, teams like San Francisco, Dallas, the Green Bay Packers, who are always a thorn in our side for that matter, and pretty much everybody else. I already believe this team is, if not the best team in the NFC, we're at least number 2. We're no less than number 2 in the NFC at all. And this team is probably on a revenge tour this season. I expect us to beat the brakes off Dallas. That San Francisco game later on in the season can turn out to be whatever it is, but we've done a great job of shoring up our deficiencies this offseason. And now you're in a situation where you can legitimately walk into a season and say, you know what? We're confident about who we are. It's not just trying to sell the fan base a dream. This is a damn good football team that has steadily improved over the last 3 years. And you're talking about year 4 of the rebuild. 3-13-1. Was it 9 wins the next year? 9-8 the next year, and then they jumped up to where they jumped up to last season. Is it possible this team could be better and have less wins? It's possible. And people may say, well, how do you figure that? This schedule is a big boy schedule, for damn sure. And I think, to me, in my estimation, if we win 11 games against this schedule, that's more impressive than what we did last year. We can win 11 games against this schedule, I believe, and still be a better football team. So, all right. Looks like Spirit of Detroit had a couple issues freezing up. I'm going to go ahead and close the show out for them. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Really appreciate it. There was a few of you in the comment section that not only follow this man and his great content, you also follow me and Ashanti and our content at Lions Avenue. Go ahead, give us a look. It's at Lions Avenue for the handle. If you want to actually look us up without the handle, just type in Lions Avenue and you will go ahead and bring everything up. Till next time, for Spirit of Detroit, my channel, Lions Avenue, stick with us. We'll be back next weekend.
I think I need a new computer. I need a new computer, y'all. And I think I'm going to get that pretty soon. I'm going to end the show. Well, it's ending me. So I'm going to end the show. I'm so sorry about this. Trying to